I have been in the fitness industry for a very long time, and this is the number one mistake that I see women making when it comes to their fitness journey. And honestly, it's something that just most people aren't educated on, and really they have been lied to for many years about it. And it grinds my gears that so many people, especially women, fall for this trap. This is why I love working with one on one clients to reverse these thoughts. I talk a lot about it on Instagram because this is such an important part of training. So, what is this mistake? Under eating, AKA not fueling properly to see your gains. This may surprise some of you, but I promise by the end of this episode, you'll have such a new perspective on why eating enough and eating well matters so much for your fitness journey. Now, as you know, anytime I talk about food and nutrition, I always preface this with saying that I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. I do not have a ton of expertise on food. However, I've been an athlete for 2 decades. I've worked with hundreds, probably even in thousands of clients. And I know that this is the thing that holds most women back from seeing their progress. I am so passionate about this specific topic also because I have been there. I have had seasons of life where I was so obsessed with being thin and small, and I tried every diet and every trend and everything to lose weight. I mean, heck, I'm a millennial. I'm 35 years old. I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, and saw how much women were scrutinized for being not even overweight, pinching bellies in commercials and telling women in interviews that they're too big. And they were literally normal sized humans. So I've seen it and I'm sick of it. And these diets and trends from celebrities and from the media always told us that we had to eat less and be smaller. And with that, eating in a very specific way. And for me, as an athlete, that never, ever made me feel like I was fueled. So I was constantly eating less and then putting in all this effort and not seeing really any progress. And actually, typically, I was feeling a lot worse about myself. Especially after if you know my story about being in track and field, I ran track in high school and college, and I basically was told that I was going to lose a lot of my scholarship because I'd gained a lot of weight and I couldn't lose the weight. And so when I actually tried to lose the weight, I was just eating less and then I was binging. And anyways, got kicked basically off the team, left the school. And then I came home to try and lose that weight. I kept trying. It was like this vicious cycle of like binging and not eating enough. And it was just like this cycle of like, I had to be smaller. I had to be smaller. I had to be smaller. But then I was still working out and I never felt like I was actually fueled for that. So we're just not taught how to eat, and especially regards to eating well while you're training and working harder than usual. And so this podcast is going to help you understand how much fuel you actually need for your workouts, but also just to feel better in your skin and feel better in your body and not constantly be told that you need to be smaller, because guess what? Your smallest body is not your healthiest body. What I eventually learned and now hope to pass on to you is that eating more, enough to actually fuel your body, is actually the best thing that you can do for yourself in life and in fitness. So let's talk about first what actually happens when you're under eating and not fueling your body properly. Now, this is something I see far too often. People, they're working so hard in the gym, like myself, pushing your bodies, but you're just not giving yourself the nutrients that you need to support all the effort. And I will say it's one of the main reasons why women hit these plateaus and don't see the results they're actually working so hard for. And honestly, it just breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart because I know that there's so much more in you. You can lift heavier, you can see progress, and you can actually feel good in and out of your workouts. Okay, so first and foremost, when you're under eating, you have low energy and performance issues. When you don't eat enough, you simply do not have enough energy to actually power through your workouts. And I mean, think about it. Like, our bodies are machines. And I hate to use that analogy because people are like, well, my body is not a car, it's not a machine. But just like a car can't run without fuel, your body can't perform its best without the fuel that you put in it. I can't tell you how many clients come to me saying that they feel sluggish or that they're struggling to finish workouts or they're constantly fatigued. And 9 times out of 10, especially in the afternoon when they have these afternoon slumps, it's because they're not eating enough. And without adequate calories, your body doesn't have enough glycogen stored in your muscles to help power through these intense workouts. This leads to exhaustion way more quickly, which means ultimately you won't be able to push yourself hard enough to actually make progress. And if you want to lift heavier, run faster, and see those gains, you do need to eat, period. The second thing that undereating really does is that it's a slower recovery. And a lot of times, even in the last couple of episodes ago, I was talking about recovery. And actually, you have this slower recovery time if you're not fueling your body in between sessions and not eating enough. Your muscles need to have protein and other nutrients to repair themselves and actually grow stronger. So if you're under eating, you're not giving your body those materials that it needs to heal. And not only does this mean more soreness and longer recovery time, but it also limits your muscle growth and progress over time. But if you ever wonder, why you're sore after your workouts or why your body is feeling like it's taking forever to bounce back after a tough workout, this could be a sign that your body's underfueled. Recovery is such a crucial part of the process. And if you're not eating enough, you're missing a huge part of this fitness journey puzzle. The third thing that undereating can do is hormonal imbalances. Now, this one's big, especially for the women out there. When you don't eat enough, it can seriously mess with your hormones, and your metabolism can really get thrown off. It makes it harder to lose fat and maintain muscle mass. Now, for women, undereating can also actually affect your menstrual cycle. If you're constantly undereating, your body may stop producing the hormones necessary for a regular cycle, which means that this is a sign that it's seriously off. I remember when I was in college and there was a couple girls on the team that just wouldn't get their period, and they were so excited that they didn't get their period. But that was actually not a great sign, right? In the long term, that's not good to actually fuel yourself, work so hard that you're actually missing your period. Now, your body views a lack of food as a stressor. And then when it's under this kind of stress for too long, it starts to shut down non-essential functions like reproduction. And if your period becomes irregular or disappears, it's your body way of saying, hey, I'm not actually getting what I need. So if this is you, make sure you check in on this. You also can have some mental fog and mood swings when you're under eating and under fueling yourself. And under eating doesn't just affect your body physically, but it also messes with your mind. Without enough fuel, your body can't function at its best. Think of yourself in these afternoon slumps or when you don't feel like you're super productive. When was the last time you ate? When was the last time you were actually fueling your body to make sure that it can push past these points? And without enough fuel, your body just literally can't function at its best, leading to issues like mental fog, lack of focus, even mood swings. And think about it like this. Everyone knows the term hangry. You get irritable, you can't concentrate, and that's literally your body screaming for fuel. This can also affect your motivation. I hear a lot of times I don't have enough motivation. Here's another place where we can check in and be like, am I actually fueling myself to have that motivation I need? When you find yourself maybe dreading workouts, losing passion for fitness altogether, it's maybe not because you don't love it or you don't want to do it. It's maybe because you're too drained to enjoy it. And food isn't just fuel for your body, it's really fuel for your mind as well. Just a couple other reasons why you should not underfuel is the risk of muscle loss. This is a big one that people don't actually realize. When you're under eating, especially if you're working out intensely, your body can start to break down muscle for energy. And that's right when you don't give your body enough calories. It starts to look for energy sources elsewhere. And unfortunately, that can mean that your hard earned muscle mass. And so while you might think that eating less is actually helping you get leaner, it can actually make you lose muscle, which slows down your metabolism, then can lead into that quote unquote skinny fat, where you're just losing weight, but maybe not the weight that you actually want to lose. And just one more, because I really do not want you to undereat or underfuel your body. Slowed progress and plateaus. Have you ever had a plateau recently and you're like, what is happening? Why can't I push past this? It could be that you're underfueling. You've been working so hard, you're staying consistent, and then boom, you hit this wall and it's been weeks and maybe into months where you're not seeing any results. That's because when you undereat, you're not giving your body the tools it needs to change adapt, and improve. Progress requires fuel, and your body needs energy to build muscle, burn fat, and get stronger. Now, one of the most frustrating things I see is people giving up when they hit this plateau. Oh, it makes me so sad. Thinking you're doing something wrong or with your routine, and the problem comes back to their nutrition typically. Maybe stress and sleep is also a part of that, but maybe you're just simply not eating enough to support your goals or next level goals, like pushing past that plateau. So now you know the dangers. I'm going to put this in quotes because it's dangerous, but also really just the fact that under eating and how much it can actually affect you. Let's fix it and fuel yourself properly. First and foremost, eating enough calories. You know me, I'm not much of a person that counts calories or macros, but maybe it could be helpful for you to track kind of how much you're eating, or at least take some data points of how much you're eating to actually make sure that you're supporting your activity level. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go wild and eat everything in sight. It just means that you're calculating your body's needs based on your activity levels, goals, and current weight. A really simple, easy way to do that is to use a calculator, total daily energy expenditure, TDEE.net. This will allow you to put in how much you're working out, what kind of lifestyle you lead, your body weight, your height, and just a little bit more about you so that it can kind of spit out how many calories that you should be consuming. Now, there are tons of tools out there. Obviously, that one is one of them. You can also talk with a dietitianist and nutritionist. It's always a really great idea if you're unsure, but there is so much data out there that you can utilize to your advantage. So make sure that you're eating enough calories first and foremost. And number two, focusing on quality and not quantity. Eating enough is crucial, but eating the right foods. Focus on whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, plenty of fruits and vegetables. These foods are nutrient dense, meaning they provide you with the vitamins, minerals, and fuels you need to perform and recover yourself properly. So not just consuming more just to consume more, but looking at actually what you're eating and making sure that it's quality food first. Number three, well, we have a whole entire podcast on this. Protein is key. So if you want more information on protein and why it's so important to make sure that you're eating enough, go back to that podcast and listen to it. I coach you through how much you should be eating, why you should be eating more, and how to actually get more into your diet. But it's especially important if you are strength training, you hit a plateau, you are underfueling yourself at all. Getting enough protein is essential for muscle repair and growth. So if you're trying to see some gains within the broads community, aim for around 0.8 or 1 gram of protein per body weight. This might seem like a lot, but trust me, it's what your body needs to feel strong and recovered. Now, also caveat to this, if you know that you're not eating anywhere near that amount of protein, please take it slow to get to that level. AKA, I'm someone that eats about 150 grams of protein a day. But if you're someone that eats 100, I would not tell you to go to 150. That's not going to make you feel good. And it's going to be really hard to get there. So gradually take a couple weeks to get into 110, maybe 120, 130, and so forth. And remember, we're really looking at the average for the week and not every day hitting it. So again, more info on that protein podcast. Also, number 4 is fueling around your workout, making sure that you're getting enough before and after your workouts. Before your workout, you want a meal with carbs and protein to start your muscle repair. Now, it needs to be around 15 grams of protein, and making sure that you have enough carbs to actually fuel you through your workout. And afterwards, focus on a meal that replenishes your glycogen stores and continues to repair those muscle. Again, proteins and carbs are your best friends here. Now, it's important to eat before your workout for most women. I would not recommend fasting before your workout. And this is from Dr. Stacy Sims. Would highly recommend you checking her out if you want more information on that. And then after your workouts, making sure that you're getting some fuel in your system about an hour to 2 hours after you actually get your workout in. For example, I am someone that loves to eat before my workouts, about an hour before, and I'll usually just have lunch or second breakfast after my actual workouts, about an hour or so after. Now, at the end of the day, okay, if we look at this, fitness isn't just about what you do at the gym. We all know that. We all know that fitness is not just what you do in the gym. I have been a personal trainer for 12 years. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I am here to help you lift heavy shit and take up space and feel fucking confident and badass. But with that, I want you to feel just as confident and badass in all other aspects of your life. And that's really what strength training does. But it's how you fuel and care for your body every single day. It's how you show up in relationships. It's how you set yourself up for success. Because if you can do shit in the gym, you know that you can take care of yourself and your nutrition outside of the gym. Because undereating is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially women, because it's so in our mind that we need to be smaller humans, but we are not small men. That's a direct quote from Stacey Sims. Undereating can really sabotage all of your hard work. And I really, truly hope that this episode helps you understand why eating enough and eating well is so important for your fitness journey and just for you showing up for yourself. Do not be afraid to eat. Your body needs it, and you need to feel strong and energized and ready to take on any obstacle or anything that comes in your way, whether that's in the gym, in life, or both. So please take this as a permission to fuel up and give your body what it needs to thrive. And if you're seeking any support with eating mindfully, I do have a free guide. It's linked in the show notes on how food makes you feel, tracking your hunger cues, and overall practicing a way more mindful approach when it comes to food. And you can download it in the show notes. So make sure you check that out. But thank you for listening. I just so appreciate every listen and every download and every review I ever get a part of this podcast. It makes me so happy that I am able to show up for you guys because I'm showing up for you. Now you have to go show up for yourself. If you found this episode helpful, if you loved it, please like, subscribe, share, drop me a message on Instagram. I really am someone that loves to chat with people. I am someone that loves to connect. So please shoot me a message. I love to answer questions about nutrition training and everything in between. And until next time, keep fueling your body and keep crushing those goals.